Welcome back. We have an update from Harbour Group Corporation, trades on the New York Stock Exchange American under the symbol SKYH. It's an aviation infrastructure company developing the first nationwide network of home basing campuses for business aircraft. Please welcome founder and CEO, Tal Keinan. Welcome, Tal.
Thank you very much. So I'll give you guys a quick update from the last time we spoke. Just confirming you can hear me. The screen went blank here.
We can hear you and see you.
Okay, fantastic. So a lot's gone on. We're talking about as of end of the third quarter. So, we like to think of ourselves in terms of four buckets: site acquisition, development, revenue, and operations. On the site acquisition side, as people may have followed, we've been really kind of exceeding our estimates on new airfield wins. Most recently, we announced a new lease at Trenton, New Jersey, a strategic field that New York market is quite key to us. And our first brownfield acquisition in Camarillo, California. And just ask people to stay tuned for more in the coming months. On the development side, we're about to complete construction at three new campuses in Denver, Phoenix, and Dallas. So we'll be starting operations at all three of those this quarter. A lot more in the pipeline, but we'll go through all of that right now. Revenue, you can kind of look at revenue growth as a sort of a step function as we open new campuses. So it always looks quite steep. It is steep, but as of I'm going to take it back to September of 2024 because we are talking about the third quarter. We're at a little bit about 110% year-on-year rise in revenues from about $6 million to about $12.5 million dollars. And again, as you watch new campuses open and come online and start cash flowing, that revenue behaves as a step function. And hopefully, as we open more of these, we're now at 5 campuses. At the end of this quarter, we'll be at 8 campuses. There'll be hopefully higher visibility or predictability as to what those step functions look like, even before they actually happen. On the operations side, we've got those 3 new campuses, campus 6, 7, and 8, staffed and equipped. We're ready to go. Our service model, I think that some of your viewers follow quite closely, continues to develop. We're adding new features to it all the time. If we have time at the end, I'm happy to talk about our new security features, which have been quite important to a lot of the Sky Harbour residents. And we've had a leadership change. We brought in Marty Kretschmann as our senior VP of airports, who's really responsible for everything that goes on Sky Harbour fields. Marty's a 20-year veteran of the FBO space, exactly the person for the role. And then lastly, just higher level on the finance side, we completed a PIPE last year. As we know, we try to be very judicious about our capital formation strategy. Raise what you need a little bit before you need it, and that's kind of our point of view. Never want to be doing this under the gun. We targeted a $75 million PIPE. We came in a little bit above that, but we're pretty close. But more importantly, we're able to really add to our roster of strategic investors, and people are really pulling for Sky Harbour in all sorts of ways on the airports with our residents. That was very gratifying. We're very happy with that close. And then lastly, also on the finance side, people may have noted we recently uplisted to the New York Stock Exchange, and we'll I think announce that with a little bit of fanfare and a bell ringing at the end of this month. I think that's the 28th of January. That's in a nutshell the Q3 update for Sky Harbour.
Fantastic. And talk a little bit about how the Camarillo purchase fits into Sky Harbour's site acquisition framework, please.
Yeah, so the Los Angeles Basin is definitely a tier 1 market for Sky Harbour, and even within Los Angeles, we have a kind of two themes that we're tracking. One is the concentric circles of occupancy. If you take Van Nuys as sort of the epicenter of Los Angeles business aviation, that airport's been tapped out for a long time in terms of capacity. It's landlocked. There's real constraints to growth, and we're seeing a lot of spillover into surrounding airports. So you're seeing kind of the concentric circles around Van Nuys become more populated. As Santa Monica is set to close, to shut down at some point soon, we're going to see a lot of migration of aircraft. And Santa Monica is primarily light jets and turboprops and pistons, but that's hangar capacity, right? And so that will get eaten up, and we'll see, I think, a lot more pressure on these outlying airports. The second is a westward migration from Los Angeles, this is all obviously pre-fires, but you're seeing a lot of aircraft ownership migrate out to the corridor that say in the east would be Calabasas, in the west would be Montecito. Camarillo is really the best airport for serving that particular segment of the population. So really great target airport for us. We ended up, we're opportunistic about this. This is our first brownfield acquisition, but we're able to acquire it at below what it would have cost to develop it. So that was a win for us. And of course, it cash flows immediately, rather than taking 2 years to develop. And lastly, I'd say it's a great asset, great team. If you get a chance to visit it, it's beautiful. It is absolutely a Sky Harbor property, and it's run like that. So the stars align for us there.
A viewer wants to congratulate you on the New York Stock Exchange listing and asks, is the symbol going to remain the same?
Yes, symbol will remain the same. Thank you for the congratulations.
And do you see additional acquisitions, like you mentioned, in the near future?
Opportunistically, yeah. I mean, we're strategic about the greenfield stuff. That is our vanilla day-to-day business is acquire raw land, but we're absolutely geared up and capitalized to be opportunistic. And if the stars align like they did in Camarillo, absolutely.
And as you begin to scale your operational footprint with Denver, Phoenix, and Dallas coming soon, will the company experience any network benefits from these new locations?
Yeah, over time we can see that, and we definitely have residents who are sitting in multiple locations and want to treat more than one city as a home base, and that's been great for us. When we talk about, for example, having that for people who need it, that security service, which is going to be tough to get in any other format, right? It's really a home-based type service. Absolutely, the answer is yes. And when we had 3 campuses in operation, it was difficult to see that. As we get to 8 now, we're absolutely seeing it.
And do you have any capital raises in the near term?
Like I said, I think we look at capital formation as on an as-needed basis. Don't dilute when you don't need to dilute, but before needed, right? So we try never to navigate ourselves into a corner where we absolutely need financing, and so it's always a little bit before, but that's a balance that we're always going to be trying to strike.
And will 2025 see some major changes or additions to Sky Harbor's service model?
The answer is yes. I hope 2025 really becomes the year where we're able to establish home basing as a recognized notion in business aviation, right? When you say fixed base operator, people in business aviation know what that means. We're hoping to establish home basing as that as well, and that has everything to do with the service model. We were a little bit dogmatic about being a real estate company in the early years, and it took a couple maybe hard-learned lessons to understand, no, we are absolutely a service company, and we're able to provide, through a fusion of that physical asset and the service offering, a combined offering that nobody else can really provide in aviation. And we get really good input from our current residents. We encourage that. That's fantastic, and that's really what helped us to hone that offering. So the example that I gave earlier is perhaps prominent among those, is a security offering that I don't think anybody else can match in business aviation.
And last question, is it possible to have 50 locations in 3 to 5 years?
It's absolutely possible. And, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. I think it might be possible to exceed that as well.
Wonderful. Well, great update. Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Really appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back.